1045 The Team, and of course you can always check us out online at 1045theteam.com. Levac here. I got producer Gaz riding shoddy, and we have one of the best sports handicappers in the country and possibly the best storyteller in the country, Brandon Lang of BrandonLang.com. Before we get into the story you promised us about Entourage, the real-life Entourage, got to ask you about this weekend's games. Let's start with the AFC Championship. What are you thinking about the Pats and the Broncos?
You know, I find these trends or these stats or these weird things that affect the game. Ed Hockley is assigned to the AFC Championship game, Denver, New England. Bill Vinovich, who I had the pleasure of sitting next to on a plane flight 3 weeks ago after he did the Jags game with Atlanta. What a great conversation with Bill for 2.5 hours. That's a whole other segment. What they go through, what goes on during the week. What he looks for in the game, it was fascinating, man. And I told Bill, I said, listen, if you want to go to sleep, that's fine. I won't talk to you. But if you tell me it's okay, I'm going to talk to you for 2.5 hours. He goes, no, I feel like talking. We never stop talking for 2.5 hours. So with Hockley, he's done 7 Denver Bronco games since 2010. The Denver Broncos are 7-0. So you kind of just go, okay, all right, let's see if that holds true. So I just feel that it's been a great run for Denver, but in this situation, until somebody beats the New England Patriots with Edelman in the lineup, I just think that they're that much better. I know Denver has the number 1 scoring defense in the NFL, but I think it's been done with mirrors. That was a banged-up, battered Pittsburgh Steelers team that they couldn't take advantage of. The Steelers defense, pass defense, isn't very good. Their defense overall isn't very good. And without Antonio Brown, offense banged up, they're a fumble away from us talking about Pittsburgh, New England. So in this case, my question to you is, when's the last time Wade Phillips and Gary Kubiak won a big game?
I think I was in utero, maybe?
I mean, so when you look at a game like this, don't take chances. There's a right side to a game and a wrong side to a game. And if Peyton Manning finds the fountain of youth, if Gary Kubiak and Wade Phillips outcoach Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels, so be it. I just don't think you can go against a team that's not afraid to come out and throw the ball 21 straight times in a football game, albeit a playoff game at that. That just goes to show you, if you got a weakness, they're going to find it. And I think there's some weaknesses there in Denver. So I think the right guy side of the game is New England. Make sure you buy down to 2.5. But I think at the end of the day, you lose with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. You don't take a chance with Peyton Manning and Gary Kubiak.
All right, what are you looking at on the NFC side, Arizona and Carolina?
This is the one that confuses me because, and tell me if you saw the same game last week, guys. I think Bruce Arians coached scared and Carson Palmer played scared.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with that 100%.
I think they played that game not to lose instead of playing that game to win. And that was not the Arizona team we saw all year long. They almost were afraid to throw it deep. They're almost afraid to take chances. Mike McCarthy outcoached Bruce Arians terribly in that game. They were down to their 4th, 5th, and 6th receivers who were getting open in that game. And I think Honey Badger being out has affected them a little bit, but overall, they struggled to beat what I call an overrated Green Bay team all year. So if that's the Cardinal team that shows up, they're in big trouble. So I think he's going to open it up. I think we're going to see an air assault because if you're going to beat Carolina, it's not by running the football. It's throwing on that secondary and committing to it. That's what Sean Payton and Drew Brees did when they put up 38 on them. They just said, we are going to throw all game long, and that's exactly what the Saints did, lost 41-38, but Drew Brees and Sean Payton went down swinging. And I think that's what Bruce Arians is going to do. He's going to come out, and he's going to fire, and he's going to say, you know what, I'm throwing caution to the wind. So for me, I think the game comes down to a field goal. I think it's going to be close. If I had to lean toward a side, I would force Arizona off that emotional win. Do you remember when Kurt Warner beat Green Bay 51-45 that year in that emotional game?
Yep.
You remember what happened next week?
Then they just ran out of gas, right?
They went to New Orleans, and you could see it. You could see it in the first quarter. They were gassed, and Warner got knocked out of that game at the end of the half and ended up retiring from that hit. That could happen here. I don't want to be on the wrong side of that, but for me, you got the number 1 scoring offense in the NFL at 31.7 a game, and you got the number 2 scoring offense at 30.6. I'm going to go over that posted total of 48 because I think, you know what? I think we're going to have some points in this game.
I love it. Brandon Lang of BrandonLang.com joining us on 104.5 The Team. Now, we were all wrong about this Seattle-Carolina game last week. How does that happen? And, I mean, I know that's why we call it gambling, but how do we – I mean, I was so sure Seattle had this game.
A couple things that you think about but don't think are going to apply that end up applying. First of all, you go to Minnesota, you play that game, it's cold, you fly back to Seattle, you practice for 4 days, you jump on a plane, you fly back to the East Coast, to Carolina. It's an early start, so your body clocks are a little messed up. And you know what? You come out in a game like that and you're not crystal sharp, you're going to get down quick. And they didn't wake up till halftime. And then they came out and played like the Seattle defense that hadn't given up a touchdown in 6 games on the road. But in the playoffs, you've got to come out in that opening kickoff and play as if your mom's being held hostage if you don't give 100%. And Seattle didn't do that. They came out a little nonchalant. You know, Stewart rips off the 50-something yard run. Next thing you know, you're down 7-0. Russell Wilson throws the pick 6. Now you're down 14-0. And before you know it, that's momentum in the NFL. They got it back. They got down to the 15-yard line. And I thought if you had Seattle +3, which I did, this destroyed me. Because when they got down to the 15, they spiked the ball on first down. I knew right then, now we only have 2 downs to get in the end zone. I would rather have seen them run a play and pick up 8 yards and set up 2nd and 2, because then you knew they were going to kick the field goal and then need the onside kick for the touchdown, and any chance for the back door at that point being down 31-0 was gone. But they just didn't. They looked lethargic, and that's what I'm afraid could happen with Arizona. I'm not saying it will, but if Carson Palmer plays a clean game and Arizona wins the turnover battle, they could shock the world and win that game outright. But I do feel there's going to be a lot of points.
I cannot wait any longer. I got to hear this story. I'm a huge Entourage fan. What is this experience you had with the real-life Entourage?
Well, first of all, if for your listeners, at the top of my webpage, brandling.com, take advantage of the 1-week free all-access pass, $4,000 value. You get every one of my handicappers' best bet for 7 straight days. That's 11 best bets a day. It doesn't get much better than that. You get the weekend free with all the football that my guys have, read their analysis, and meet my guys. Great thing to have on the website. So 1 week free all access pass. So caddying at Riviera, networked the movie from there. Decided to stay on and just kind of chill and caddy and living by the beach in Manhattan Beach and just living the life. Dan Gilroy's writing the script, and I'm caddying for every celebrity under the sun. I mean, I'd worked my way to probably be in the top caddy at Riviera in a caddy yard of 40 people. There wasn't a celebrity that I hadn't caddied for. My real good friend, his name is Keith Norton, grew up with Mark, and one of Keith's best friends was a real Johnny Drama. So Kizzy would come out, and I'd caddy for Kizzy in the real Johnny Drama, and man, what a hoot that was. And so, I get a phone call from Kizzy saying, listen, Drama and Mark are playing at 1 o'clock. Drama's going to request you. I said, perfect. So I had seen Mark once before in the Palm restaurant. My buddy and I just got done playing Bel Air with another big country club out there, and he saw our hats. He goes, you guys play today? I say, we played up in Bel Air. He sat down, he talked to us. He was with an unbelievable Victoria's Secret model. It was insane how hot she was. And so Drama gets out there, and Mark and Drama show up. And on the first fairway, they break out and if you watch Entourage, they smoke a lot of weed in Entourage, especially the first few seasons. And it's true. When Mark got out to Hollywood with his Entourage, they smoked a lot of weed. Mark was single, tapping anything that was a dime piece with a pulse. And so I'm not a big weed smoker. And Mark's like, come on, man. Come on. If we're going to be out here with this, we got to take it deep. So I'm like, okay. So I hit it, and by the second hole, I'm staring at a hawk looking at a squirrel in the middle of the 2 fairway. And these guys are waiting for their yardage. And Drama's like, can I get a number here? And I remember, I'm high as a kite at this point. And I'm like, Drama, you got to come over here and watch this hawk about to get him some food right here. This is something else right here. So we get to the 4th hole, which is par 3, 236 yards, but the snack house is like right across 1 fairway. Smart pulls out a Hyundai and says, listen, what's our number? I'm like, it's 3 woods for both of you. He says, okay. So they take their 3 woods. They both took like 2 wedges in case they missed the green. They took their putters. Mark gives me 100 and says, listen, go load up. We need beers, we need snacks, we just go load up. Now listen, I'm stoned. So I roll over to the snack house. My man Jose's in there, and so he's like, "You got Wahlberg, don't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll make sure he tips you real good." He says, "You got it. What do you need?" I'm like, "First of all, give me a Haagen-Dazs ice cream bar right now to eat while I'm ordering, because I need it right now." So now a Haagen-Dazs ice cream bar. I get 18 beers and a full big thing of ice that he packs for me. I got Snickers, potato chips. I got 2 sandwiches. It came to like $65. I threw him the 100, said keep it. I didn't get back to them till they hit 3 woods off number 5, which was the par 4 after the par 3, and they're in the middle of the fairway like, "Where are you?" I lost track of time. I was just like having lunch halfway out while Drum and Mark are waiting for their stuff. So I come pulling up. I got the beers all popped for them. We parked the car. It was pretty much dead that day. They parked the car. They hit the weed again. The real Johnny Drama, if you watch Wahlburgers, he's on there. The real Johnny Drama acts like there's a camera crew following him around. At that point, he hadn't been on TV yet. Now he's on TV at the Wahlburgers. He acted like a camera crew followed him around all the time, like there was a camera on him. So he acted everything he did. And he calls everybody Cuzzy. He's like, "All right, Cuzzy, what we got, Cuzzy? Let's go, Cuzzy. Here we are, Cuzzy." I got to tell you, of all the people I've met, actors, Mark's probably one of the most down-to-earth, genuine I've ever met. And I literally was stoned till about 5 a.m. the next day with as much weed as those 2 knuckleheads had me smoke. It's great memories, guys. Great memories of spending 4.5, 5 hours on a golf course with Hollywood's elite.
Brandon Lang, BrandonLang.com is where you can find out all the information you need, the best of the best sports handicappers right there. And Brandon, we're going to be at Radio Row for the Super Bowl. Any chance you come and tell us a Bill Clinton story while we're there?
Absolutely. I'll come by.
Love it so much, man. Thank you so much for making time for us,
Thank
Brandon.
you.
Guys, thanks for having me, and we'll talk to you next week.